Hey there, this is Firestreak7. I'm making this video to help out Yogscast Kim. This is directly for you. I do apologize ahead of time. My game is rather laggy, and I can imagine this won't be the best frames per second or anything of that sort. Please bear with it. So I have some explanations for Aura Cascade set up. Over here we have a wall that just shows the generation of power. So if we feed this, we can pump power up to the first pump, and then it'll move over into the second pump, and we can give that a little bit of food as well, and that'll pump up to the third pump, which will pump sideways and drop energy. Now what this loop does is take one white aura crystal and turn it into 10 white aura crystals. Over here we have a similar loop. However, this loop doesn't have anything at the bottom. For those of us who have fly or angel rings or any other version, you can go straight up to the top, feed it directly, give it some white aura, and that'll pump it up the 5 blocks over into that one and back down. Now if we look at this left side is 10 blocks tall, so it converts 1 crystal into 10 energy. This is 15 blocks tall, only takes 1 pump instead of 2, and converts 1 crystal into 15 energy, or into 15 crystals. So this is the most ideal, but it gets ridiculously big, so most people would rather avoid it. Over here, I have a demonstration for Violet Aura. I'm going to set this running and then leave it. Notice that the power when it distributes is roughly about 700. Now the thing with purple is that it goes and it spreads to all the different nearby crystals and then grows to a certain extent. The more aura nodes you have, the higher maximum it can grow to, because it starts growing in each aura node individually. And this is my system. This is what I would recommend for you, Kim. It's pretty simple, and you are almost already there. Obviously, making the Ring of Binding here, just as something familiar and easy. Got a little bit of white going, just because I was messing with the system ahead of time. You can see the violet bouncing around. That's been feeding the iron, ironically. So the part that you were missing is this. It's an aura capacitor. Now it's not useful for most energies, but for yellow, because yellow degrades over time, if it's moving through the system, you have to store it in a aura capacitor until it hits a certain charge before letting it go. That'll save a lot of energy, and it'll make it a lot faster on your generation. As for the rest of it, I suggest a cross pattern like this with one in the middle. That way every node in the system can bounce to each other. All of them are connected because they're all within straight lines. To prove this, can break that, and we'll notice that this energy over here, when given a little bit of time, will connect to the system over there. Anything in a straight line will get connected as long as it has line of sight. So that's the basic setup. I'm trying to make this as visual as possible. I've used pumpkins because obviously these illumination pumps don't use them. Kind of useful because, well, honestly they were eating everything else. Now if we get these pumps going, you've seen illumination pumps before. They're pretty useful. They're about your mid-range power. You have these guys who are your burning pumps. The burning pumps are pretty standard. They're slow, but they pump a lot of power over a long period of time. So they're pretty effective getting the system going. I've already fed some of these. These guys, however, are a new recommendation for you. These are the redstone pumps. The redstone pumps pump a lot more power, as you can see. However, they only run for about 10 seconds on one piece of redstone. The redstone has to have a power. If the redstone doesn't have a power, it won't bother consuming it. until it does. The added advantage to having these consumed, or to having them on, is obviously if you have, let's be safe and not blow my system apart. Make sure I have some redstone or red energy in. You can do this and run away. And of course that gets your red energy going. So now we have blue energy, red energy, all the different energies going. Feed the system a little bit more, and then we'll take a look at purple. We'll move back to this so that we have a clear view of just about how fast it pumps. If you really need to, you can increase the system, but I highly doubt you'll need to. It seemed to work pretty fast for me, except for blue, and when it's raining, obviously blue goes a hell of a lot faster. We should be good. Alright, so back to the purple setting. As you can see, the power has grown over time. It will eventually reach the end. I'm going to take this moment to segue into the other two colors that I have not touched. There's black and orange. Black and orange only travel sideways, and from what I can tell, the only purpose is to direct power in a direction. As far as I can tell, it's complicated and not terribly useful, so I've completely left them out of this example. That pretty much concludes it. As you can see, I'm already pumping out a good chunk of power. As long as I keep these things running, it should fly through. Just a little bit more feed. These things go by so fast. And as you can see, huge stores of power are building up here with yellow, but yellow's not going down any. Needs more yellow. As you can see, it builds up the charge on yellow and bounces across, but we're not losing much, and it's moving pretty fast. If you really needed to increase the system, you could easily add another node, or another pump in here. I'm just going to mark it in here, and then add another node right here. Likewise on all the other sides, and that'll just join it into the system, and obviously the more pumps you have, the faster it goes. Your choice of pumps is entirely up to you based on your power need. They don't actually make any difference in the long run as long as you have the yellow capacitor for yellow. And that's it. Hope you enjoyed this and it was helpful. Good luck, Kim.